Hello, welcome back. Let's see what Spirit wants us to be mindful of at this time. I'm very excited. For the first time, Spirit has asked me to use this Salvador Dali tarot, which he created himself many, many moons ago, of course, because he has passed now. So they've only asked me to use this deck. It's a tarot deck. So let's see what they want to talk to us about. All right, now. There's the first card. Let me ask them what they want me to pull. 7. Okay, so that's the first card. Second card. Let's see. This is the third card. Fourth card. Oh, the fifth card's here. Oops. Oh, okay, that's the sixth card. One more card. Oh, that's the seventh card. All right then. Well, thank you so much for that. And let us see what they want to say. All right then. We have the Two of Wands. We have El Loco, the Fool. You know what? Let me hold these up closer for you because they are harder to see. So we have the Two of Wands. And I don't know if you know Salvador Dali. He claimed that most of his work was from images he had from his dreams, which is interesting because, of course, that's another way that Spirit talks to us, through imagery, right? Just like in tarot. So this is El Loco, the Fool. And this deck was commissioned by him specifically as a tarot deck. So all of this art was created just for tarot. This is the King of Swords. Oh, and of course we have Salvador himself as the magician. Of course he would make himself the magician. And then we have the devil, Diablo. And then we have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords. It's interesting how they're having me do this layout. Is this fitting in the... Let's see. I think that is probably fitting. It's a very unique... They had me lay the crystals like this, so I'm just going to let it stay like that. And then last but not least, the Lovers. All right. Okay. All right. That just a little bit. Does that line up correctly? I think it does. How interesting. Oh my God, I feel like it's a message from Salvador from the other side. Okay. All right. All right. He and his wife were very much into metaphysics. So I'm very interested to see what they have to say to all of us. All right, let me think for a minute. Two of Wands. Okay, the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is about possibilities. Now, in the traditional tarot, the person standing between the wands is holding a globe and looking out onto the horizon. This person is looking back, kind of like a self-reflection, because she's not looking at the cock or the rooster here. She's looking at self, right? At us. This is telling us that there's two sides of her. Now, there's a lot of darkness and there's also light. And in the past, you see how this is not clear. There's not real definition, but there is determination. And a lot of it is quite large. So it's signifying that we've been very determined to move forward and start a new beginning, but you're not quite there yet. You're kind of still having doubts between these two opposing forces. And I believe it's, if you can see, there's in this, if she was looking this way, she would be looking at a castle, and there's a beautiful lake and maybe a forest here and a horizon. And there, I believe there's some swans here too. It's asking, or it's telling us that we need to envision, have a clear vision of exactly what it is we want to walk into before we make that step. So let's see what the rest of the reading talks about, this dichotomy going on here. Okay, so that's just the first. So that goes straight into Eloko. And this is the Hebrew letter Shin and Scorpio. Okay, so we need to kill something off here. It looks like, and this person on the horse look like they're praying. And then there's a butterfly on the head or within the halo. And there's also a butterfly here lower down. And this is a monarch butterfly. It looks like some sort of fabric attached to the horse, but it's actually a very large butterfly. So with these two together, we are seeing that Spirit is saying one of the issues here is the fact that your ego self is blocking your ability to, in essence, make a fool of yourself, right? You are hesitating because you're afraid of making a fool of yourself. That's why you're hesitating to walk into this new vision you have for your future. You're determined, yet the ego is in the way. You see how this, look, it could be a sword or a pole or a yoke or whatever it is. It's kind of blocking. It's on the halo, on the third eye point, on the head. It's blocking your ability to really do this, envision what you want. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so let's keep going, see, and then it'll come back. It'll tie together. Okay, yes. All right, so we have the King of Swords, which here is a priest. It's on red mat. It looks like a tile floor. So it is a grounded person, but yet the sword is going up. So why a priest? Why wouldn't this be, a priest would be more maybe in a card of temperance or other justice, whatever, other cards, but why in the King of Swords? Well, the King of Swords, and I say this in all my tarot, the higher swords, when the sword goes up, it's talking about a connection to not just the intellect, but universal wisdom. And here we see in this card that is being blocked by the ego, right? The connection's not there. So we see a shadow self where here again we see, it's odd, we have two poles, two wands, two figures, right? Your ego self and your more spiritual self who is trying to transform. And then again here. So it's talking about, yes, you need to stay grounded in reality, but it's saying that you need to take an honest look at yourself and be open to making mistakes and not be afraid of becoming this new version of yourself. Yeah, there's a goat here in hills. So yes, so this is definitely a connection between the divine inspiration, what you're feeling, but your ego is blocking you, which you have not been able, and see how stationary he is. He hasn't made that step either. And this horse is not walking either. Okay, so that's their preface. So then they put Dolly right in the middle here, the magician, which has the Hebrew letter Aleph, which is A in their alphabet, and then the sun, the symbol of the sun in astrology, which is what we radiate, what we focus, our greatest passion. You see all this fire. You see fire also, these leaves look like fire here. Radiating our passion into the world. So Dolly, what this is representing is using, magic, we define magic as, you go to a magic show and someone's doing some sort of sleight of hand or whatever. But magic is really using your own individual skills, your own individual passions, your own individuality to create something unique in the world. As a matter of fact, here on this table, we see depictions of objects from some of Salvador Dali's most famous creations, works of art. We have the melting clock here, which is also showing us that we need to be flexible. We need to be flexible within this lifetime, within our individual lifetime. And that the passion, the fire, the passion to act as an individual and to create as an individual is, in essence, what we're here for. I don't want to go on a whole big philosophical rant because I want to keep this. Maybe I can do that in another video. But you can see that he's in kind of a alcove of a church, right? And then you have the blue behind the horizon, but yet it's part of a larger structure. So it's talking about using your creativity, what you have, what you're being pulled towards, and what you're determined to do, but yet your ego still hasn't let go enough to allow you to make that first step and to stay passionate. And it's telling you here that these leaves that have this fire, it's telling you that this step, this journey is going to take a lot of work. So, be aware of that. But anything worth creating or birthing into the world is worth the work. Nothing great is ever created out of, inaction, right? And again, you have wine and bread on the table, so that again, like I said, Dali and his wife, they were very, not religious, but very spiritual people. So he has a lot of those symbology in his work. So he's talking about, humans as above, so below, or being like the creator and being here for the purpose of the evolution of humanity through each and every one of us contributing something to society that only we can, that only the magician, right, that only we have all the skills or the experience to bring forth, which is what they're talking about here. But you still don't have the clear vision. So here we have El Diablo, the devil, which Samek is this Hebrew letter Samek. So this is the sign of Sagittarius. Sun is in Sagittarius right now, about to go into Capricorn next week. And then we have Mars, which actually the full moon was yesterday, which was also very important, which was conjunct to the full moon yesterday. And these are timeless readings. I'm just saying this for people that are watching it in the day that I'm posting. So what is this talking about here? We have... so in this, what's being depicted here is this darkness actually having let go of that darkness, having let go of what has been restraining us, and letting that go off into the abyss and basically jumping off, right? Taking that step. Oh, see? So this was their preface. This is their main point. And now they're starting to say, if you do this, what is going to, the trajectory of what will happen as a result. So the fool is usually depicted as kind of jumping off a cliff. So it's funny, the devil here is coming off a cliff or a pedestal into this magnificent horizon, right? Blue, just like here, with all these possibilities. And it's funny because it's almost like a drape or a backdrop, because it ends here, or a curtain. And then what do we see? Pure light, right? So we're going from this dark, what has been keeping us back from fulfilling our dreams or our purpose in this world. And we're transforming because these horns, these things that have held us back or crippled us, are now, after we let that go, right? After we let that go, after we have enough faith to let them go and ensure they don't block us anymore, we're going to be able to transform. But they are still saying that here, don't think that just because you make that first step, once you have a clear and exact vision and believe in yourself enough and silence the ego and have the faith to know that you have the skills and something to bring forth that nobody else on earth can do. Only you can do it. Once you have all of that and you make those first steps, don't think it's going to be easy because it's not, right? It already said this with all this fire here on these wands, these leaves that are on a flame. It's saying that you will have doubts, during this journey. But to stay connected, you see, with, this could be the Holy Spirit, it could be a dove, I'm not sure. And then you have an angel here, but you're looking the other way. It's like here, where you're just looking in the other direction. It's saying all of when you are not connected and if you lack the faith, right? That you will lose your connection, your inspiration, and you will get lost at times and you will agonize over this. So they're saying to do that, stay connected. Stay, however you do that, whether it's through tarot readings or through astrology, like metaphysical astrology, and there's other types as well. I don't want to feel like I'm just promoting the astrology on my own channel. But however you connect, whether meditation or whatever, it's saying that when you lose that connection, right, then you will have a lot of doubt and uncertainty. The ego, we see the red again, the ego might come back into play. So it's warning you that after you take this step, you have to stay connected. This connection is imperative to make sure that you reach your destination, right? That you reach and get to this castle in the sky or whatever it is you're dreaming about. Because determination is not enough. Determination is important, but you must remove the ego. You have to be okay, be open, be flexible to, look the fool at times, to make mistakes, but you have to keep the faith that this is all for a higher purpose for you to, manifest your highest self, but also for you to help society. And it's kind of weird because that was kind of what the full moon message was yesterday. And when I'm looking at this, for some reason, it reminds me of the American flag. So they are talking about you and your individual mark and your voice being heard on a larger scale, right? Not just for yourself. Yes. And so what is the lovers? The lovers depicted here is not so much when they were pushed out of the Garden of Eden. We see here an angel, right? A blessing. And this is more when it comes to Judgment Day, when they are actually invited back in, right, to paradise. So we see this cherub, which is also an infant. And we see that, infant, of course, goes back to giving birth. So we are all, our purpose is to, as they're saying in the center here, to birth in this world what only we can. And it might also be talking, here we have two sides again, two sides, right? And even here too, it's so interesting. The only thing that has a single figure is the middle card. And it's interesting with this, it's kind of, with the Hebrew letters, I'm thinking of the tree of life. It's kind of like the right column, the left column, and the middle column. And bringing all of that together is the key to the tree of life, which is also your ultimate expression in this life. And that is what our purpose is. So it could also be talking about that you have been looking for the perfect partner, right? And that because of that, this has been holding you back, or that you haven't started on this path because you're still waiting for that, maybe sexual or otherwise, partner. It could be an intimate partner, it could be a business partner, but it's telling you that the only partner that can help you with this is yourself. By bringing yourself, yeah, again, see the three figures here. By, I don't know if you're a student of the tree of life, but by combining the right and the left columns, dark and the light, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine within yourself, the taboo. Ah, yes, the taboo. Parts of you that you never accepted, whether that was because of society or because of religion or because of your ego, right? You need to bring all of that, all aspects of yourself together to make this a possibility. And I think, I'm sorry, I was sick. I had COVID, and then my youngest got COVID. So I'm sorry that I was absent for like a week or so. We had traveled over the holidays, and that seems to have been a mistake. Won't do that next year. So anyway, it seems like it's also kind of a New Year or a January message here, even though it is timeless. So we all, the time, the flexible clock here, the melting clock that says, each one of our lives, we have to always be open to the flexibility of the timing of our own path in our own individual lives. So that's another reason never to be hard on yourself because of timing. All right. Enough said. Thank you so much, Spirit, for this amazing message. I know it definitely resonates with me personally in certain aspects. And so I'm definitely going to start on those projects that I have been wanting to materialize last year that didn't get done. So I'm going to get working on that. And I thank all of you for being here. And as always, I wish you a divinely guided day. Bye-bye for now.